up, scholars? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be doing more Dr. Stone. I don't know if I'm smart enough for this manga. I know things about science, but the way that it goes into detail and everything just continues to blow my mind, and I realize I don't know enough about science like I thought I did. So that's always fun. So I feel like I'm learning educational things about science as I'm reading this manga. So that's a fun little treat as I'm going through Dr. Stone. So I'm only covering through chapter 25. I know I stopped at like 16 or 17 in the last review, so I know this is a very short amount of chapters. But a lot of things are happening, and with a manga like this, as detailed as Dr. Stone is, I feel like you have to take it in shorter chunks and shorter chapters and to be able to talk about all of it. So we're just going to talk about this short set of chapters because so much happens. We have so many new characters being introduced, a lot of characters that I absolutely love and am just really excited to learn more about, because I have my eye on someone who I just know is going to be like a major player down the road. He already kind of is, and I'm just really looking forward to seeing it. And I think I'm good, like in the clear for him, unlike I was for Tsukasa. I think I'm clearer to trust him than I was Tsukasa. So if y'all have read Dr. Stone and y'all are hearing me, when y'all hear me say who it is, y'all are probably gonna either laugh at me or just, it's fine. It's fine. Y'all can laugh. I am trying to be optimistic as much as I was hurt last time. I'm still trying to be optimistic. But we're gonna start off with where we left off. So Senku is off on his own, and he's discovered this new civilization when he comes across a girl named Kohaku. And Kohaku and him get along pretty well right off the bat because she thought he was dead, but of course he's alive, and so that makes her think that he's a sorcerer. And soon after, she shortly says that she has fallen in love with Senku, and his facial expression when she tells him that is hilarious. That really adds on to this theory I have that Senku as a scientist has really looked at the emotional aspect of humanity and considered it something bad and illogical, so he doesn't want to latch on to any of those emotions or feelings. And it's very clear because when they're talking about love, he's like, you don't need to like love me. That would be illogical. That would be impractical for you to fall in love with me. It's a very interesting dynamic, but I love Kohaku. I love her character. She's so funny and she's so relatable, but she's also a very hard worker, and she's very caring and giving, especially when it comes to her sister Ruri. I love their relationship and how Kohaku literally goes the extra mile for her sister every single day and does the most to take care of her, and I love that. And Kohaku is relatable because when Senku ends up going to the village and he meets Chrome, this magician who also he's kind of a scientist of his own. He understands a lot of the same things Senku does, except not at the same level. When Chrome and Senku end up looking at Chrome's collections of things and they start geeking out together, and Kohaku's over here saying, yeah, that's a bunch of rocks. I've never so quickly related to a character ever in my life. She's great. I love her. And she's like freakishly strong too. Like, she is super strong, to the fact that it's a running gag that they call her a gorilla, and I think it's so funny because she puts the boys in their places. And it's a great dynamic. Chrome is great as well. He's our little nerdy scientist alongside with Senku, and he has a heart of gold. Heart of gold. Absolutely a heart of gold. And pretty obviously he is in love with Kohaku's sister, Ruri, and he's trying to do anything he can to save her because Ruri has this illness, and Senku takes it upon himself to try to cure this illness, which means they have to rapidly develop humanity, the scientific process, so much, and he needs help to do that. But before I get further into that, what is interesting about this is that there is a civilization that has been established for who knows how long, for many generations, because there's old people, young people, all sorts of people who don't know anything about humanity from, 400, however many years, like 400 years ago. They don't know anything about it, so it's like it's been several generations to where they don't remember anything of the past. So it's like, how exactly does the whole turning people to stone on Earth, how exactly does that work? Because apparently it wasn't like a fix all thing, and the way that Senku was, I guess, melted and defrosted in a sense, didn't work the same way as it did for others. So that's really curious. That's a little bit of a mystery that I have yet to figure out, and I'm really curious to learning more about how the civilization formed, about how they came to be, and what's the cause of this. What, like, everything is still so much a mystery. I'm really looking forward to getting an answer to it. So yes, you have this civilization with a bunch of really fun characters. You have, I think, Suika, 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 sweet, precious little baby. I love her so much. She is a darling. She wears the little pumpkin head thing, and I just absolutely love her. She's a little snake. She gets all the gossip that you can imagine, and she's so helpful and so kind, and I adore her. I absolutely adore her. She is fantastic. And I love that Senku doesn't make fun of her or ask her why she has the pumpkin head. He just accepts it and starts asking her other things or thanking her for her help, and that automatically makes her in her mind be like, oh, he's a great person because he didn't question me, so I'm gonna dedicate myself to work for him. And Kohaku's like, no, you're giving him too much credit. it's really fun, and I love the dynamic between all of them. We do get the interesting information as Senku is talking to all of these people and how they've, gone along as far as they have so far, and he figures out that the Earth's axis has tilted, which is very interesting because that doesn't just have like minor consequences, like that affects a whole lot of different things. So that's curious. I'm interested to see how that affects things on so many different levels, to see how that comes into play with this new world essentially. So that is an interesting tidbit of information that I'm definitely keeping my eyes on, because they mentioned it but then they kind of just moved past it because of like a directional thing at the moment. But I think that needs to be revisited at least at some point down the line, so I'm keeping my eye on it. You also have two characters that I love, the brothers Kinro and Ginro. They're hilarious. I love them. Their dynamic, one being serious, the other being like really excitable. I love it. I love it so much. And Senku, of course, is winning both of them over, because of course he is. And as much as, I believe it's Ginro, as much as Ginro tries to pretend he's like really hardened and he goes strictly by the rules, he still takes like the spear and everything from Senku, and he still kind of watches as thing happens, even if he doesn't participate like Kinro does, but he's still there watching it all happen. It's very funny. I love it. He's a great character. I really like Ginro. But then we get this moment when Senku is trying to appease the villagers. He's trying to make them see him as not a threat, that he's not this sorcerer who's come to get them or he's out to get them or anything. He's kind, he's friendly. So what does he do? He makes his own ramen shop. I think it was so funny, and when I first read it, it immediately made me want to go eat ramen. He makes his own ramen shop and invites everybody to come, and you get all of the villagers coming to eat his ramen. They're like, oh my goodness, like, what is this creation? It's so good. And then we get the introduction of what might just be my new favorite character, the smoothest talker in the world, Asagiri. I love this guy. He is the right amount of sneaky, he's the right amount of shady, but he's also hilarious, and he just the the conniving and just the smarts that he has, top notch. And he does remember Tsukasa from like the original timeline, like he knows about the original timeline and everything, so he has all of this knowledge of what society used to be as well. And here he is in this camp enjoying our ramen, and they all ambush him. And he's like, well, I'm just here to do some scouting because Tsukasa over here doesn't think you're dead, Senku. So it's up to me whether I say, hey, you're alive, or hey, you're dead. So what's in it for me? Like, he's a rat, but he's a fun rat. And I like him. I like his character so much. And he ends up working with Senku, and because Senku has these wild ideas of how they're going to make the medicine, he's gathering supplies all over, and then he tells Asagiri, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna make a power plant. And Asagiri's like, huh? Power plant? Okay. Because Senku's like, yeah, we're gonna make electricity. And he does. Like, he gets everybody together and they're all working together. The process is very tedious, it's very hard, and it's quite comical at times. And poor Ginro has to give up his spear. But because of Senku's scientific prowess and his genius, he is able to intellectually win Asagiri over, because Asagiri is like, I'm always going to bet on the winning horse no matter who I have to cut loose or who I have to betray. I'm going to bet on the one who's going to win. So is it going to be the kingdom of science, or is it going to be Tsukasa's kingdom? And with Senku pulling out the whole power plant and generating electricity and bringing that into this very medieval world, that's a pretty big pull for Asagiri. I also love how Asagiri uses like magic tricks to fool some of the villagers into thinking he's magic or a sorcerer, explaining how like, oh, well, we're gonna use this lightning, we're gonna use this lightning or this trick to make the lightning go away just like this, and he makes the flowers vanish. He is a smooth talker. He is a very smooth talker. It works. Senku's idea, it works. And they create electricity. Edison's version of the light bulb, they recreate it, and he makes electricity. And we get another really cool flashback of Senku when he was little, learning about electricity and more about science and how it worked. And he's like, wait, then electricity is the most like basic form of power that we can have. And that spurred him to continue learning when he was little. And now here you have him creating his own electricity in a world that doesn't have any. It's really, really cool. That's where I kind of want to leave off for this video, because there's a few things I want to highlight. One, Asagiri. He is going to be a major, major player in the future. I just know it. He is going to be someone who's going to stick around for a while. He's going to be someone who we're going to have to continually work at to make sure he stays on our side, and so that he doesn't betray us to Tsukasa. And he's going to have a lot of influence on things because of the way he's such a smooth talker and the way he can, the way he's like a magician and everything. I think he's going to be a major player that we're going to keep an eye on. Besides Senku, of course, being a major player, I am going to bet on 3 people right now. Besides Asagiri and Senku. Chrome, Kohaku, and Ginro. I think those 3 are going to play some major roles. And I have to shout out my boy Tsukasa, because he was smart enough to realize that maybe there was an off chance that Senku lived, and he wanted to verify it because he has a sneaking suspicion that maybe he didn't quite die. He was too calm when that happened, so maybe there's a chance that he survived. So I do want to highlight that Tsukasa is still very smart and analytical and a very tactical person, but we're not seeing much of him himself. We're just seeing people talking about it, And it'll be very interesting to when we actually do get to see Tsukasa again and how that interaction goes. Be very interesting. But this set of chapters, they were so much fun. I love Kohaku. Like, Asagiri being like a little sneaky person aside, Kohaku is definitely one that I just absolutely love. I love her. She is such a great character already. I love the depth to her. I love her relationship with her sister. I love how she's a rebel against her other family because they're not taking Rory's sickness seriously or any of the other aspects of that. So I love Kohaku as a character. She's a really, really great character, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of her. And of course, Senku, obviously, just brilliant, brilliant man. The humor and comedy that he brings, as well as the other characters bring, the dynamics are great. I love the humor in this manga. It's really fantastic. It keeps me laughing and grinning, and that's just something I really enjoy because I love a manga where I can just connect to the characters, enjoy the plot, but also get a good laugh out of it every now and again. So we're doing good. Other than that, that's all I really have for this section of chapters. I really enjoyed it, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where the plot goes from here because next step, it has to be that Senku either integrates into this village fully or somehow gets them on his side, and it has to do with Ruri. And we're gonna see how that plays out. I don't know how yet, but it's gonna happen, so I'm really excited to see exactly how he's going to do that and how all of these characters are going to come into play when that happens. That is all for this video. Next week, One Piece is returning. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited. It's gonna be fun. I will be doing the new chapter of One Piece. I'll be covering that next Tuesday. Next Thursday, I will be doing unpopular One Piece opinions. So I will be putting on my community tab. It should be up already. So look at my community tab. There should be a little post where you can put your unpopular One Piece opinions down, and I will take some of those and find my own either online, on Reddit, or something. And we're gonna talk about some of the interesting One Piece opinions that are out there on the internet, because I'm sure there's a lot. So that's just gonna be a fun little video for next week. I think I'm just gonna enjoy myself in it and hopefully get a good laugh at some of y'all's wild opinions. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching this video, and I will see you next time, scholars. Bye!